No, I was thinking about it and I asked if you had Zoom and you were like, yeah, I used to talk to somebody on Zoom. I don't know. It was me.
It was. It was. It's been so long ago that I totally like didn't even think about that.
I didn't either. I
So,
was just sitting here like, it's been an hour since we talked about it and it just like hit me like a sack of bricks. It was like it was me. She was talking to me on Zoom. It has been a really long
way
time.
back, yeah, it was way back when we barely knew each other.
Yeah, it was
So,
a 2021 because because when I gave you that cricket earlier, I was pulling out all the papers and stuff, and underneath all
yeah.
that was a lot of my old work files, and I was like, "Oh, what is all of this?" And it was stuff from where we had worked together, and the day it was 2021. I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh my gosh.
It's like I wonder if she
So
wants
funny how
too,
you wonder what?
if you want these too, because like
Oh,
insights into the past and like it's
oh,
diary-ish, you know.
yeah, it really is. It would be interesting to look back at that and see like where my brain was then and like look at it. It's kind of like reading an old journal. Have you ever read an old journal where you were talking about something that was bothering you and it's like, okay, I'm way past that, or wow, I'm still doing the same old shit, you know? So I think it would be interesting to read.
Yeah, and sometimes you look at it and you're like, wow, I was a complete idiot. That's how I feel all the time. Because, I've always done things like this. So, like, before the internet, because that's how old we are, it was
Yeah,
journals and stuff. So I have tons of journals from when I was growing up. And, but not only those, as soon as the internet became a thing and like social media wise, because the internet was a thing way before the internet was, before social media was.
yeah,
I was downloading stuff on LimeWire for years before MySpace came about.
really.
But once MySpace came about, all of my journals shifted from private paper to public domain. So, man, the stuff I have out there, and I look at it and I'm like, oh, bless this child. I'm so
Yeah,
screwed up because it's fine. The cringe, right? You got to embrace the cringe.
yeah, definitely. See, I'm lucky that I don't know if you would call it lucky. I guess it's just the difference that most of my awkward years, the internet was nowhere to be found. So a lot of that missed me. So I
Good.
just have friends. I have old acquaintances that will remind me. They're like, "Hey, remember when?" I'm like, "No, I don't remember that at all.
I
I
don't
think you're
remember
making it up. I don't remember it."
I don't remember anything ever. And like I'll have friends that are like talking about this really cool concert that they went to when they were 17 and uh they did this at it and then we left and went and did that and then like we ran into this person and it was and like we went it was just and it'd be like this crazy story and I'm just into it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, what happened next? And they're like, Savannah, you were there. I'm like, no, no, it wasn't. They're like, yeah,
yeah,
all the time. But that's what trauma does to you, is that you don't
yeah,
remember anything that was fun. You don't remember anything that was anything because you're stuck in survival mode. And
yeah.
the human brain, like if you're struggling to survive, that's literally the only thing that you can think about. It's the only thing that matters. Your brain just throws out everything else. It's like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I don't need this. I need more capacity to figure out how to manage the situation that I'm in and get out of it,
Hmm.
survive it. So, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
most of I remember all the bad things for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wish that those were the things that completely dumped out of my brain and I could just be like, I'm so happy. I'm so this and I'm just everything's fine and butterflies. But no, I remember. I'm like you, I remember the bad stuff. So
Yeah.
I was actually having a conversation with somebody the other day and she was telling me how sad she is that there's large parts of her son's childhood, like early years and stuff like that, that she can't even remember because she was in such survival mode. She's like, I have huge chunks of his childhood missing.
Hmm.
And I was like, I can totally relate. I definitely have that too. But my my kids are old enough that we talk and we have conversations. And I told her, I said, what I can tell you is that even if I don't remember a lot of the things, my kids do, and they remember like the things that I did to try to make fun, make a bad situation fun, or like they remember all the good things that I did, even if I don't remember them. And really, that's what we're doing it for anyway.
Hmm.
So I was like, at least kind of take that as assurance that even if you don't remember, it sucks. And I know that you wish you could, but your kids do. And they know all the things that you did for them. So,
Yeah, just breaking the cycles. That's should be the goal for most people. It's not for a lot of people. A lot of parents just turn around and perpetuate the cycles that were given to them.
yeah, unfortunately.
Mm. The good ones, though, that's good. It's good that they had that from you.
Yeah. It definitely made me feel a lot better.
Yeah. Um, I'm sorry I kept you waiting a little bit. I was trying to calculate the time we needed to stop so that I could go cook dinner. Uh,
Mm,
and I was like, well, let me just go read how to cook dinner real quick. So that way I at least know what I need to do, and that'll help me plan out when I need to stop. Turns out needs to cook for like 2 hours. So I was like,
oh,
oh no. It's,
new dinner plans.
no, I'm still doing it. I needed to go ahead and get it in the oven now instead of
Yeah.
we're having at so Bucky's has these frozen chickens. They're like stuffed chickens. Have you seen them?
Okay. No, I have not.
Goodness, I highly recommend. They're
Really.
yes, so they're whole chickens that they have gutted and deboned and stuffed with there's one that's jambalaya and then there's one that's dirty rice and that's all I know because Blake's the one that keeps bringing them home, but they are
Yeah.
magnificent.
They sound so good. I try to avoid Buc-ee's. Like
Oh, maintain.
with everything in me, it gives me such sensory overload. Like I need like rest after I go to Buc-ee's. It's
I,
bad.
I agree. And used to like when it first opened, it was the hop. There was so much hop. And I had just opened my first official yoga studio on my own at that time, like at the exact same time. And I was feeling so salty that everybody was like, Bucky's, Bucky's. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? That's just like another Walmart. It's another Walmart.
Right.
You're supporting big corporations. What about me? What about small businesses? What about small local businesses? Everybody's always talking about small local businesses. Uh,
Yeah, but then something like Buc-ee's comes in and everybody's like, ah,
I was making
Buc-ee's.
memes about it. You know, you know the meme where it's the dude who's walking with the girl and he's turned around like, ooh, at the
Oh
girl that
yeah.
looks exactly like the girl that he's with, and she's like, "Ah." So I was
Yeah.
making memes with like that, about Bucky's and small
I
business.
remember seeing those. Now that we're talking about that, I remember those
I was
because
so
it was like small local businesses, Buc-ee's.
yeah, no, the small local businesses were the ones that were like, "Ah,"
Yeah.
but yeah. Um, and then my husband drug me to Bucky's and he was like, "Isn't it great?" And I was like, "No, this is like a anxiety panic attack person's nightmare."
Yeah.
They're just because it's got like what? I don't know the numbers, but it's like because not everybody's familiar with Bucky's. They're like there's like 50, there's got to be more than 50 gas pumps, right?
Yeah. I think there is. There is. It's crazy.
I suppose I could Google it really fast if I can figure out where my
Yeah.
house is.
But yeah, the hype leading up to it, and I drive by it every day, and I'm watching it get built, and all of this stuff, and so finally, it's like, okay, Bucky's is finished. We're gonna go see what it's all about. And I'm like, this is awful.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore. Can we just go?
It says Bucky's usually have over 120 gas pumps.
That's wild. Like
And
that
most
is
of
just
them are full.
wild.
And most of them are full. And the entire parking lot is also full every time you go, no matter
Yeah.
what. You can't walk in there. It's like Black Friday in 2018.
Yes.
Terrible.
Yes. Every day. Every day.
And everybody raves about it. And everybody's walking around with Bucky pajamas on and Bucky's blow ups at Christmas in their yard. And it's like, I
Yeah.
hate living here. I hate that. No, my daughter's softball team, they're six. One of the
Yeah.
softball teams for the rec center last season, their name was Bucky's. They were the Buckies.
Oh my gosh.
Me and Blake are
Yeah.
like, I'm just so glad. I'm just so happy we didn't get on that team. Like, what would we do? I mean, we'd have to suck it up and deal with it, but oh,
You would have to go to Bucky's and get you some Bucky's pajamas to wear to every game.
nope, not happening. Not happening. I won't even wear like every season, every softball season, they get the parents' t-shirts too if they want them, and I'm just like, I don't wear stuff like that. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not a t-shirt person. Well, I've
Yeah.
recently become a t-shirt person, like graphic tees and stuff. I used to never would wear those either, but a lot of
Yeah.
that came from like self-esteem and never feeling like let's see, how do I word this? Um, everybody's so my whole life, everybody was so wrapped up in what you looked like. Nothing else
Mhm.
mattered. Personality didn't matter. Um, mental capacity, intelligence, nothing mattered. The only thing that mattered was because in the South, it's like you need to sit there and look pretty. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
Oh yeah. Look pretty, be sweet, and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, that's it, 100%. And I
Yeah.
couldn't for the life of me sit still and look pretty, like no matter what I tried. I was super
Yeah.
that you were your awkward years. I only like got out of my awkward years last year, maybe.
Yeah.
And then even then, it depends on who I'm around and what's going on. I am oftentimes still super awkward. I can't normal. I don't know how to normal, and it shows really badly. And so that's why I dress the way I do now and whatnot,
Mhm.
because like that's the only thing anybody cared about was the clothes you were wearing and your hair and how it looked. So like that's the only thing my family were constantly telling me how uh terrible my hair was and how terrible my teeth were and just all of these things. I needed to lose weight, just constantly
Yeah.
nitpick my appearance that I spent a whole lot of time figuring out how to quote unquote fix myself, right?
Yeah.
So, and that did not include t-shirts. Nope.
Mm.
Doing t that's too low key. And it just drove me crazy that like I was being nitpicked so much and yet everybody else was walking around in jeans and a t-shirt like it was nothing. No big deal.
Right.
And like they were
Yeah.
so how were they doing that and fitting in? And I had to go like above and beyond.
Above and beyond.
So I've recently like chilled out a lot with my like I don't even care anymore. Like I do for fun.
Yeah.
I do it for fun.
Right.
It's fun for me.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, I have to wear this or I have to wear that or oh my God, I wouldn't be caught dead in. It's nothing like that. It's just like so I'm in my graphic tee era, or I was there for like 3 months. I'm kind of falling off of it again because I just don't like things like that, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Being human's complicated.
It is. I am actually have lately started to like think about Okay, so I am in my what Brene Brown. I'm gonna talk about Brene Brown again because she's like my most favorite author, and I'm gonna always try to bring her up. But what she calls a midlife unraveling, not a midlife crisis, but an unraveling. So, and I'm like, to the point that it's not like, oh my God, I'm old. No, it's I'm fixing to be 44 years old. Why am I doing this? Like, why do I do this? Do I want to do that? How how do I actually want to dress? Like, if I didn't think about what anybody else or didn't care about what anybody else said, would I still be wearing this or would I wear something else? And I mean, that's just the way that it is with my clothes, with everything that I do, with like what I do with my time, like all of it. I'm like, why am I doing this? So, but yeah, I think I told you the other day that I've debated on even if I want to wear pants anymore because skirts are just really comfortable and I like them.
Yeah, yeah. When I was pregnant, I could not wear pants. I
Yeah.
couldn't stand for anything to touch my stomach. It was just like
Mm,
made me nauseous. It hurt. I just could not. But so and that's when because I wouldn't be caught dead in a skirt most of my life because
yeah.
I when you grow up hearing you hit like a girl, you run like a girl, you throw like a girl,
Yeah.
yada yada yada, then my defense mechanism was to heavily most of my life was like I'm gonna prove myself to be as good as the boys no matter
Hmm.
what. So and that came in the form of suppressing my femininity. I thought I was a
Yeah.
tall boy. I thought I was a
Yeah.
tall. No, it turns out I just was taught that everything feminine was bad. So I would not have been caught dead in the color pink. I would not have been caught dead in a skirt or a dress or
Yeah.
heels or anything feminine like that.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that I am who I am now because it turns out I'm actually quite feminine. I just didn't know, but my daughter really brought that out in me. So I'm so thankful every day for her and how she healed so much. Just allowing me to be her mom is.
Yeah.
But yeah, skirts and dresses are the most comfortable clothes on the planet.
They are. They are. And like I'm like you when you were pregnant, I can't stand anything on my stomach. Like it's so uncomfortable. It hurts. It makes me sick and all of that stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to end in 9 months, but it's just where I'm at. But I mean, it's like I was like you. I grew up, I was very tomboyish. I'm sorry, hold on.
You're fine.
Okay. I had to get my tea. I was very, very tomboyish. I wouldn't wear pink. I wouldn't wear dresses or skirts. My grandma, bless her heart, she had 4 boys. And then the firstborn grandchild was my brother. So she had a grandson. And finally, when I came along, she was so excited because she was finally getting a girl. And she tried so hard. Like she would buy me dresses and I would refuse to wear them. At Christmas, she would buy me Barbies. And I was like, I said I wanted a football. Why did you buy me this? Because I was not, I was like you. I wanted to prove that I was just as tough. I would fight boys. I was awful. Like I was wild. But um, now I'm like, well, maybe I might like skirts. I mean, I'll give them a go.
I wore jeans I wore jeans yesterday for the first time in at least a month. At least a month.
Yeah.
Because around Christmas, I went to my grandmother's function and I wore jeans. And I I don't know, it was a weird outfit. It wasn't a weird outfit. But at the same time it was a weird outfit and I liked it, but I didn't like it. And I just went back and forth in my head about it. And I was like, you know what? You know what I'm most comfortable in, like as myself, is
Hmm.
athletic wear because, and I mean, like a lot of people say that and they're like, yeah, and there's this whole like meme or joke or whatever going around the internet about how like athletic wear doesn't mean that you're an athlete. It could very well mean that you're just a busy mom with a large to-do list who,
Yeah.
you know, I fit both of those categories. So
Mhm.
most of what I wear is athletic wear anyway. I'm always uh teaching yoga, so I'm in yoga pants, or I'm always playing pickleball, so I'm in yoga pants. Or
Mhm.
if it's colder out, or I've
Yeah.
found I've got really into like tennis skirts. Love
Yeah.
tennis and like athletic shorts, and so that's what I'm in most of the time anyway. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like um and then I'll sleep in it too, so you don't even have to get dressed. So I can just you take a shower, you put your athletic wear on, you sleep, or you go do the athletic thing, you come home, whatever, whatever, whatever. I'm in it 24/7 anyway because it's necessary.
Yeah.
I think what it was that I had gotten so used to that I went to her function and I wore jeans and I was just like, I don't feel like me.
Yeah.
So I I decided, and it was a joke. I was telling everybody, I've decided that if I can't wear athletic wear, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And, and it started out as a joke. I was like as I was saying, I was like, I know I'm gonna wear jeans. Like it's who I am. And then like a month went by at least, and I was just like, you know what? I've actually made good on that. I've
I
actually
kind of meant it.
apparently I did. But I did wear jeans yesterday and the night before because me and my friend went to that Cosmos and Cocktails at the Space and Rocket Center Planetarium. Have you seen that or
Oh
been there?
yeah. I have not. So, but I know what you're talking about. I've seen it like advertised or whatever.
Yeah, it was super cool. We went for her birthday, which was in November.
Mm.
Took us that long to get it scheduled. We were supposed to go last Friday, but we got snowed in and everything got canceled. So
Yeah.
we went this Friday, and that was the first time I wore jeans in over a month. And it was okay. It was good. I was like, because I was like, oh no, I'm wearing jeans. I said I wasn't going to. I'm like, no, it's fine. I like to dress up every now and then. But
Yeah.
it's funny how I said that I wanted to talk about clothes, and then I was like, never mind. We're not going to
Yeah.
get topic specific. We're just going to see where things go. And here we go, naturally talking about clothes. So,
Yeah.
what most matters is what you feel comfortable in yourself, for sure.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't realize that your clothes have energy, and that energy is exchanged between you and the clothes. So I'm a huge fan, obviously, of sweatpants and a t-shirt, but I also feel like if you're not comfortable and if you don't feel sexy in the sweatpants and the t-shirt, then you should
Yeah.
wear something else. You should wear something
Yeah.
you do feel. And that's where I was for a long time, is that I was trying to prove that I was pretty. I can be pretty. I can look
Yeah.
good. So I was dressing up instead of dressing down. And because when I was in high school, I dressed down because I was trying to.
Yeah.
So the only thing I wore in high school was jeans and oh no, we're gonna have to put this on pause. My dad just pulled up with the kids.
Okay. All right. Do you do I just join back up to the meeting later or something?
I think we can pause this. Okay, so I was talking about in high school,
Mhm.
the only thing I wore was jeans. And okay, so I wore jeans and a t-shirt then, but what's ridiculous is that I wore the same hoodie every single day over top of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if you call that like a tism thing or a poor thing. I only had one hoodie to really work with anyway,
Right. Yeah.
but it was the one thing I felt comfortable in. And I wore like different pants and a different t-shirt under it every day. But it was the same exact solid black hoodie that said Elkmont across it, which was, the school I went to. And ever
Yeah.
since, who knows what was being talked about me. And if anybody even noticed, I don't know. But I wore it, I dressed down to hide. It was
Yeah.
trying to like not be seen and not be, just dissolve into the back of the classroom as quiet
Yeah.
as I could because it wasn't
Mhm.
seen. So when I started to work on, and that kind of kept, like I wore jeans and a t-shirt and a hoodie up until like I was probably 25 or so. I
Mhm.
started getting into, I was probably, I don't know, it was probably before that. I was probably 23, something like that. I started getting into yoga, and so I was wearing yoga stuff to go do that, but not just because. And then
Right.
mm, I was a total nerd geek, so I had some graphic tees that I would live in around the clock. But when I started working on my confidence and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, so they say to dress the role, right? So I
Mhm.
started dressing up at that point and trying to figure, and it didn't work for a long time because learning how to, so fashion is a subject all of its own, but
Yeah.
then learning your own fashion and what works on your body is a whole different subject on its own. So you have to figure out what clothes work together, and then you have to
Yeah.
figure out what clothes work together on you specifically. Because I mean, like
Yeah.
some people can put on whatever and look great in it, and like lucky them. But I have
Yeah.
really large hips, a really small waist, really large shoulders, like really wide shoulders, and zero waist in like from like ribs to hip is like non-existent. So I'm really
Yeah.
zero length in that.
Yeah. Your torso is not long.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's very, very just compact. So I look very odd in a lot of things. I have to have like crop tops for me are just a regular shirt. And
Yeah.
I kind of need that because then you can see that, oh, I'm not, I don't want to say fat. That sounds, I don't know. We could do a whole episode on that. I don't like that. I don't like to
Body. Yeah.
body positivity, and like I don't want to call myself that, and I don't want to imply that other people are that. I don't know. It's weird for me. But it's like, oh, she's just all hips. Because
Yeah.
I am just all hips. But anyway, so I had to figure that out, and that was a super awkward phase because you don't know what works until you're trying it and whatnot. Um and then so one of my favorite stories is about how I was on Facebook one day, and this chick I graduated with had posted a picture of herself wearing this bright red lipstick. And I had
Mhm.
commented on it. I was like, oh, this looks great on you. I wish I could do things like this. I wish I could. And her response was, of course you can. You just put it on. And I was like, you obviously don't get it.
Yeah.
But that really
Yeah.
stuck with me. I started thinking about it, and you start out and you're like, well, let me just see. And so I put it on like in the bathroom by yourself. The doors are locked, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, this is terrible. But then you try again, you're like, oh no, this is terrible, and it is terrible for a while, right? And
Yeah.
and then you have the trauma, and like most of us, I've found from just talking to people and talking about confidence and telling this story specifically, a ton of us have the exact same trauma of being a little girl that puts on lipstick for the first time, walks out the bedroom door, and a family member tells them they look like a clown.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
such a common occurrence. So what
Mhm.
does a girl do? They clean it off and they never ever try again, which
Yeah.
is exactly what happened to me. And like, so, and we could go on a tangent about parenting and whatnot, but my daughter comes out with lipstick on. I'm like, let me help you with this. And we don't shame. We're like, this is a learning curve. It's okay.
Yeah.
everyone can paint right off the bat, and that's exactly what it is this, a lipstick especially is a
Mm,
painting project. It's a like you can't just lips like you can't just take a tube of lipstick, and that's what a lot of people think. That you can just take a tube of lipstick and stick it on there and call it. That is not how it works. You have to, for the most part, take a brush, like a paintbrush, makeup brush, and paint it on.
really? So that's what I've been doing wrong the whole time.
Yep. That's what everybody's doing wrong.
And eyeliner, I cannot do. I've tried so hard. Like I can do my bottom lashes, but eyeliner just. I was noticing yours today, and you've got your little wings, and it looks so pretty. And I thought,
Thank you.
oh, I cannot do it. Like I just, it's not that I would be afraid of how I would look. It's the I do not have the capability, like or the ability to do the eyeliner. I've tried so many times, and practice does not make perfect with me in eyeliner. So
Learning
I was
curve.
like, eh, it is. It
You know,
is.
some
I think
people
it's
are really inclined to pickleball. Others have to work for it. Others play for years and still are complete garbage. It's okay.
yeah, yeah. I don't necessarily for myself. Like I have no issues with makeup, but like for myself, I just it's just not something, and that could be a lot of it. Is I've never had the real drive to perfect it, because I'm like, I'm okay without it, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, that's probably
So
exactly what it was. Is you know, because if you don't care enough, you're never going to practice enough to build. You're not going to Google the
yeah,
tutorials or, like if it's not that deep, it's not that deep. You just move on with your life.
yeah,
Other things to worry about.
yeah,
There's literally there's millions of categories of things that I could be pointing my attention to right now. And if that one's not, but it was for me.
right, yeah,
But I remember
yeah,
the first time I ever wore heels out in public just because you know these days people are really quick to be like just wear the heels to Walmart, whatever, it doesn't.
yeah,
But when we were growing up, that was not the culture at all. Like if you wore heels, like you only wore heels to events and church, and that was about it. Maybe like
yeah,
a really big family reunion, or I don't know. So it's
yeah.
special occasion.
Not they were not your everyday wear for sure.
No. And so the first time I ever wore heels in public, just because again, I was a mom. I was a mom of toddlers at this time. Like if I don't wear them to the dentist office, I'm never going to have an opportunity to wear them. So
Yeah.
to the dentist office is exactly where I did wear them. And what's funny is that I had never been to this particular dentist office specifically. So you knew me when
Mhm.
my teeth were still sticking out of my face, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think so. I
Yeah,
think
so
so.
that's where I was going, was to get Invisalign for the first time. So I was going for my consult
Mm,
Invisalign, and I was like, new me, because I was getting,
yeah. So you were gonna wear heels to match.
yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know, who knows what I was thinking really, but so I wore the heels to this dentist appointment, and to my absolute horror, I get in there, and it's like in downtown Athens. So it's like a really old building that was built in like the 1800s. So it's got hollow wood floors. And no matter how carefully I was trying to walk, it was just the loudest clonking through this whole place. Like it demanded attention. Everybody was looking at me because you couldn't not. It was echoing through the
Right.
entire place. It's got like 4 rooms in the whole. It's a very tiny
Yeah.
old 1800s Victorian style house, and oh my God. I did get a lot of compliments on my shoes, my heels though. They're So that it went well, even though like I was sweating and my face, like the
Yeah.
heat, you just feel it. So,
Right.
and then, so there for
Yeah.
years, I would only dress up to go places. Like if I was
Mm,
going to Walmart, I was dressing up. But now we've come full circle and I'm back to the like hoodies and sweatpants because I don't need the tools of the outfit and the shoes and the makeup anymore to help me
right.
bridge the gap between how I feel about myself but and how I want to feel about myself. I just feel like that all the time now. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
full circle, if you don't feel sexy in the sweatpants, find something you do feel sexy in until, and you like, it may be very embarrassing for a little bit, but then you go in the bathroom at the dentist office and you look in the mirror and you're like, okay, no, this is good. This is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my. So when I was a kid, talking about the footsteps, this is what reminded me. When I was a kid, I went to this old church, this very old church, and during the singing part of church, I had to go to the bathroom because once preaching starts, you don't get up. Like you're there until he decides he's done talking. So I thought I'm going to go to the bathroom before while they're still singing, and I got to noticing how my dress shoes like clicked on the floors of the wooden floors in the bathroom, and I just thought it would be the grandest idea that I was going to start trying. That was the day I decided I was going to learn how to tap dance. So I was in the bathroom just dancing my little heart out.
How old were you?
Oh gosh, I was maybe like 7 or 8. I was
Okay.
not old at all. And a woman walks into the bathroom and she's like, "Are you in here stomping?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "We heard somebody out in the church. We could hear somebody in here stomping. Was that you?" And I was like, "Mm-mm."
No,
But in my mind,
it
I'm
sounds
like,
like
no,
I'm in
I
trouble.
was, I was totally tap dancing. I was not stomping. There's a difference. So my brain told me I didn't lie in church, but yeah, that just reminded me. And then I had to walk back into the church to sit down for the preaching part of it, knowing that everybody in the church just heard me in the bathroom stomping. So that was what my brain thought about when you were talking about your story of walking on the wood floors. So
Yeah,
I
embarrassment
was
is inevitable, no matter what,
embarrassment. What?
is
Oh,
inevitable,
inevitable.
no matter what. No matter what, it doesn't matter how confident you get, you're still gonna have moments of embarrassment. It still happens to me all the time. I'm so embarrassed about stuff all the time. I'll do something and it's just like, like you turn red, but you just, I mean, the only thing that is different is how I handle things. Because,
Mm,
used to I would have just like melted into the wall or like
yeah,
left the situation, went home and cried,
yeah.
uh,
Oh yeah.
over it for a year, you know. Now it's like I make a joke about it. You just
Mhm.
own it, make a joke about it, make a joke about being human or something, and then you just move on with your life. And now, like, I forget about it real quick, which
Yeah.
thank God for that. It's too much mental power
Yeah.
being embarrassed about things after they happen.
Yeah. I know, definitely. But yeah, I think you're right. I think will always get embarrassed. Like the people who don't, I don't know. I don't know if they're
Narcissists.
no, I'm not gonna say that they're lying, but
Narcissists.
yeah. But I mean, at least you're not dwelling on it for months afterwards now. Like I'm not gonna I wouldn't come home and have a panic attack about it. So I'm learning to be like, okay.
Now, granted, I do still have panic attacks about things. Like, that does still actually happen. It's happened this week, actually. And the difference is I can't now tell you what it was about, but
Right.
earlier this week, I definitely had a panic attack after something, like after I embarrassed my,
Like
and
over an embarrassment.
yeah, and the thing is like it's 50-50 whether or not they even realized anything even happened. It's just, oh, today when we were playing pickleball, um,
Uh-huh.
so Jeremy that we were playing with, you know which
Yeah.
one that was? Okay, so when I first ever played pickleball with him, after a match, he met me at the net, to tap paddles or whatever. And he was like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Right here." He was like, "Okay, you look really familiar." I was like, "Yep." So like he starts trying to figure out how he knows me. And he turns out he knows me from when I worked at Applebee's for 6 years, right?
Okay.
Okay, so once I found that out, I'm like, oh, like I'm already embarrassed that like for why, I don't know. Uh I'm not super proud of that time of my life. And it probably doesn't have anything to do with Applebee's at all.
Right.
It's just the
Yeah.
decisions I was making at that time in my life that I,
Uh-huh.
oh God, here we go. And so that's instantly where my mind went, was I was already embarrassed once he like figured out that that's where he knew me from. And he goes, "Well, why don't you work there anymore?" And just reactionary out of my mouth, I go, "Because I got a real life." And like as soon as I said it, I was like, "Why did I say that?" And then he went, uh, "Okay, well, what do you mean?" And I was like, I mean, like, I don't know. I started having kids, and then So I was so like I've every time I see him now, I'm like, I wish I could go back and be like, look, I'm sorry that that was done. And he probably doesn't even remember it. It probably wasn't
Yeah.
it was just yeah. Yeah, I'm human and sometimes we say stupid things. And I mean the truth of the matter is that I was working there during college and then I flunked out of college and just kept on working there. And then
Right.
when we decided to have kids and stuff. I had a really, really rough first pregnancy and could not, like, I was so deathly ill that I could barely get out of bed. I had to call in all the time. And, like, when I could go to work, I did not look okay. Like I was pale,
Right.
couldn't eat nothing. And so we ended up deciding that it was just best that because we always knew that I was going to stay at home with the kids while they were little anyway. And we're like, we're just
Mm-hmm.
head and start that now. And so that's actually why I quit working there initially. Or who knows, I could no, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt I'd still be working. I loved waiting tables. It was like a
Really?
yes, it was a game to me. Now I hated the interaction part with the customers. Like my
Yeah.
mentality was uh I fought with my manager all the time because I wouldn't wear a name tag. And my mentality was they don't care who I am and I don't care who they are. What do you want to eat? Gotcha.
Right.
And it became like a game in my head of getting everybody everything they need. There was this I've always played video games and stuff. And when I was
Mm-hmm.
growing up, there was a SpongeBob game on the computer that I loved. And all it was filling orders. So like you were working at the Krusty Krab and you had orders coming in and so you were SpongeBob and you were filling the orders, but like this burger didn't want cheese and this burger didn't want pickles and so that's what was in my head the whole time I was waiting tables. It was like it was a video game in my head
Yeah.
and I loved it. But I hated the communication part. I hated the interaction part, and I didn't have the personality for it then. I probably have
Yeah.
the personality for it now because I'm more comfortable in myself and around others. I'm not as shy and timid and awkward and anxious as I used to be, and I know how to at least a little bit of small talk with strangers now, enough to get me by. And
Yeah.
but I loved waiting tables. Wasn't a fan of the people.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I still have dreams all the time of waiting tables.
Really?
Hmm.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it's always like
Hmm.
a catastrophe dream too. It's like, oh no, I forgot to put that order in 45 minutes ago when I should have. And now they've been waiting an hour and a half for this. Oh no, they wanted ranch and I never brought it. Stuff like that. Um, yeah. I had a panic attack the other day about something that happened, but don't remember it now. A lot of that though, I think is just sometimes my anxiety is higher than it other times is. And I think that has
Yeah.
a lot to do with my anxiety I used to think it was just trauma based, and then
Hmm.
I figured out my soy allergy problem, and for the first time in my life, like it went away. And because I always told when it happened, I'd be like, I'm having a panic attack right now. Hold on. And my husband would be like, what's going on right now that's causing you to have a panic attack? I'm like, literally nothing. Literally.
Yeah.
I was cooking dinner and everything was peachy keen in my life. And then it's like I walked through a wall of anxiety and now I'm panicking for no reason. For no reason. It's my body, it's not me.
Yeah.
Good.
Go ahead. I was just going to say that's the way that it happens for me. Like I don't know when an event or a thing happening has caused me to have an anxiety or panic attack. They just happen out of the blue, like that with you. You know, everything's fine. I'm folding laundry, and then next thing you know, I can't breathe and I'm sweating, and my heart is about to come out of my throat.
Hmm.
So,
And sometimes when that happens, because, anxiety is our body's alarm system that something's wrong. Period
hmm,
blank. And it's the same alarm system, whether it's something that's going on externally or as it is that, like an allergen or a toxin or, something inside your body is just wrong. Like it's the same alarm system no matter what. And if it's, for example, like mine's the allergen for the most part, once that feeling arises, your brain, your mind's going to start throwing things at you like, hey, you remember yesterday when you made a fool of yourself? It's probably that.
yep.
So it may not actually be related. It's just, and I think that's what I've been.
No, but our brains are assholes, so they're just gonna,
Yeah.
just add fuel to the fire and give you more things to panic attack, like, or panic about. Like, well, while you're at it and you're already, like in crisis over here, let's think about that thing that you did that was really dumb.
It's the asshole best friend that like when you when you fail at pickleball today and instead, they said that's how you know the difference between friends and really good friends is that
Uh
friends
huh.
would stop and be like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And they'd help you up. Good friends are like, "Get up, we gotta go. We
Yeah.
gotta do this."
Take it off. Take it off. I'm crawling across the floor. Take it off.
I was like, "Get up!" Look like it's hurry up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the best kind, though. The best kind.
They
Uh,
are. They are. I agree. Absolutely. Like you're having a panic attack
yeah.
and it's like, let me just go this fire real fast.
Yeah.
Laugh about it.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Remember that thing in high school? Let's think about that now.
yeah. Yep. That's how our brain, I tell my yoga students all the time that our brain and our mind is not us. We identify
Hmm.
with it all the time. Like we think our identity is in our mind and our brain, but our mind and our brain has a job of keeping us alive. And
Right.
a lot of that historically has been socially driven because without the community, without the village, it was certain death. You can't live without
Yeah.
other people in the past. And
Right.
we can more so now. There's still a lot to be said about that. And we could do a whole episode on just that, and I've totally done whole episodes on just that. But
Hmm.
we are the conscious observer of our thoughts. Because I mean, like, how often do you have a thought pop in your head out of nowhere and you're like, where the hell did that come from? What?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. What are you, psycho?
Yeah. Yeah. um, yeah, there are things that I think, and it's like, hmm, I lost where I was going with that. Sorry.
That's okay. Our brains are assholes and they're not,
Yeah.
and we are the
Yes.
conscious observer. And we can control our thoughts, but it takes a lot of effort and work. And that's okay. Awareness is the biggest thing. So you have to be aware of your thoughts because a lot of us aren't aware of our thoughts. They're just going. They're just going
Yeah.
with no rhyme or reason and no control. No. Have I ever told you about my analogy of the puppy mind, the puppy brain?
Mm-mm. No.
So our brains are like puppies, like untrained puppies. And if they're just left to do whatever they want, they're going to chew everything up. They're going to use the bathroom all over the place. They're going to pee on your
Yeah.
stuff. They're going to destroy just everything. Um,
Yeah.
so you have to train your puppy not to use the bathroom in the house. You have to
Yeah.
train the puppy to chew on this toy, this bone, not on
Not the
food,
couch.
not on the couch, you know? And that's exactly what our
Yeah.
brains are doing. They're just running rampant, destroying everything. And it's not their fault. It's how they're made. It's how they're formulated or whatever because again they're just meant to keep us alive. That's their goal. And so they're always looking for problems, looking for things that
Mm.
are wrong, looking for things that are dangerous. But also you have to, like, give your puppy some love every now and then or it's not going to like
Yeah.
and oh,
Yeah.
don't train your puppy. It's going to grow up and start biting people. It's going to become a really mean dog and it's going to bite every.
Mm.
And like, how often do we, as unhealed individuals, snap at people who don't deserve it?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. And like, I have my brain. What is wrong with my brain? My asshole brain. Like, it's like, we're not talking about that. We're just going to stop working mid-sentence and we're not going to talk about that. So
Yeah. You have to
it'll come back to me.
you have to give your puppy love, self-love. Because again, if we're so good at looking in the mirror and finding things that are wrong, finding things to
Hmm.
nitpick, finding things like, and then like, oh, my stupid back hurts again today. Or, oh, these
Yeah.
crappy knees, these weak ankles. And like, you forget that because you are not your brain, you are not your mind. It's
Yep.
basically like two separate entities. It's your consciousness and your subconsciousness. And your subconsciousness, the other you, is hearing all the shit you're talking about it. You know,
Hmm.
every bit of it, and it's internalizing it. And it's like, oh, I have shitty knees. I guess I have shitty knees. Hey body, did you know that our knees are shitty? And the body's going, all right, cool, shitty knees, heard, gotcha.
Yep.
And it just makes it worse.
It does, because you're like, well, I can't do that because I have shitty knees. And but then if you don't do that because of your shitty knees, well then your back starts getting stiff because you're not moving your body. And then you lose range of motion in your shoulders because, well, you have shitty knees and now your back hurts. And so it's just safest to just not move. We're not going to go exercise. We're not going to, go on that hike. We're going to stay here on the couch because that's where it's safest so that we don't hurt.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it just kind of exacerbates itself,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
It's a perpetuation. Where attention
Yes.
goes, momentum grows. So if you're focused on a part of your body that hurts, then that's just going to radiate. And when you're living your life focused, or instead of like, okay, what a better alternative would be, okay, I see where my knees are struggling a little bit. Let me give them a little more attention. Let me give them a little more,
Mhm.
let me give them a little more, um, let me Google what is good for your knees. Okay,
Yeah.
vitamins, these foods, oh, these exercises. Oh, it turns out if you strengthen these muscles, then they support the knees better. And, so
Mhm.
it's a mindset and a
Yeah.
lifestyle. And where attention goes, momentum grows.
Yeah. It does. And I am like focused so much recently on like changing my ideas of how I should be at a certain age. Like, okay, this is like a whole thing. Like, what I think that I should, well, I can't do that anymore because I'm of a certain age now and I'm too old to go do that. But so there's that and what I think about myself, but I also notice the things that feed that. Like society tells us that we shouldn't be doing things, and your family, like my mom, I love her like so much. And she doesn't say it to put me down, but the way that she thinks about how she should be
Mhm.
behaving and how physically active she should be at her age, she tries to put on me.
Mm,
So, like the first time that I said something about playing pickleball, and she's like, "Brandy, should you really be doing that? You're not old, but you're not exactly young anymore." And I was like, it's fine. I'm a little sore, but I mean, that's to be expected. I'll use a
mm,
lot of twitchy muscles that you don't typically use, like in everyday life. You kind of twitch around and use muscles that you don't normally use. So I was like, but I'm fine. And then I started something about my shoulder hurting because remember the first time that we played,
yeah.
something had happened and I hurt my shoulder. And she's like, well, pickleball probably had something to do with that. And I was like, actually, no. My shoulder was hurting before I played pickleball, so it had nothing to do with that. And so I have to constantly like remind myself all the time that whenever I want to go do something, I'm like, I shouldn't do that. And then I think, well, why not? Why can't I go do that? So I'm trying to change in my brain how I should be behaving
Hmm.
in my older. I don't know. I mean, I know I'm not old, but I'm not 20. And so I'm trying to convince myself that I don't have to just sit here and only crochet the same project that I've been working on for 9 years
Yes.
and do nothing else.
I feel that 100%. I have family members who are the exact same with me. And I'm like, when have I ever not been active? And, like, we didn't know that I was ADHD, but it's pretty obvious now when, like, I'm bouncing off the walls still at this age.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. Um, but yeah, they're constantly like, I'm too old to do this, I'm too old to do that. I'm like, would you stop? Blake does that. He's like, we're too old to do that. I'm like, you need to shut your mouth. We
Right.
feel so young. Don't you be bringing that type of negativity. Those are bad affirmations. Don't you be affirming that crap. That is not
Yeah. And they're like,
development.
keep talking like that and we will be too old. No, sir.
Yeah, yeah, you have to just like, I mean, I tell my yoga students all the time, like, you're responsible for your own tap out. I can't tell you what you're capable of and what you're not. Only you
Hmm.
can tell you what you're capable of and what you're not. So it all comes
Yeah.
down to paying attention to your body, paying attention, like
Hmm.
being intentional, being mindful, being aware of what your body's trying to say. So most of my yoga classes aren't even me teaching people how to do yoga, like the
Hmm.
stretches, the exercises. It's me teaching them how to communicate with their body and listen to
Yeah.
their and what it's saying and why it says things like that and how it's not you, it's, your brain, and it's not this, it's that, it's not your age, it's your um capabilities, because our body is a use it or lose it system. So maybe your knees are bad because you didn't go on that hike.
Yep.
Maybe it would be better if you did go on that hike. And instead of being like, I have bad knees, I can't go on the hike, how about um you tell the people that you're going on the hike with, because nobody should ever hike alone,
Mm.
that, you know, you're, and I never mention anything that's bothering me until it's really been bothering me for a while. I'll go at least minimum 3 days suffering with something before I'll admit it.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to affirm it, I don't want to give it, where attention goes, momentum grows. Um, but, I also listen to my body, and like if it's really problematic, I'm not going to ignore it and push through it and make it worse. Uh,
Hmm.
But go on the hike, and then if you get there and your knees are giving you issues, then tell your friends that you went with, just be like, you guys, I'm sorry, but we're moving slow today. It's okay. Maybe you do half the hike that day instead of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You got to be a little fluid with things. You got to be a little adaptable. Adapt or die, right? You can't go
Yes, exactly.
with a hardcore mindset of this is how it's going to happen, because I got
Mm.
news for you. You're setting yourself up for a lot of failure. I
Yeah.
go into everything with, I have no idea how this is going to go. Let's find out together.
We gonna see.
We gonna see. When I
Yep.
find out, you'll find out. We find out together. But we got each other. So
Yeah.
oh. Yeah. No, there's a whole theory out there that we only age because we expect ourselves to.
Yeah.
Have you heard of
I I have not, but I can definitely agree with it. Definitely. So, um, me and my husband were talking about that one day, and it's really like what I guess really what kind of got me thinking or brought my attention to the way that I was talking to myself about aging. And I was we were talking one day, and I was like, I really just feel like the best years, like my life is like pretty much all my good years are over. And he was like, what? I said, I really just feel like I'm at the end of my good years. Like, what do I do from here? And he said, you are like at the prime of your life, the kids, because like a lot of my stuff it comes from thinking about the kids being almost grown and moving out and all of that stuff. And he was like, the kids are about to be grown. You're not going to be, having to focus all of your attention on taking care of them and getting them from here to there and, this and that. He's like, you're like at the prime of your life, and you can do whatever you want to do right now. And I was like, really? I guess you're right. And then on Instagram, I've seen this one lady. She's like in her 70s, and she's doing pull ups, and she does all these mobility exercises and everything. And I was like, so see, like it's possible. You don't have to just sit down on the couch and accept that this is how you should be at any certain age.
it?
So, yes, what you said, I can get behind.
Yeah, the only constant in life is change. And it can be really scary when your whole identity has been tied around like being a mom for 18 years.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
suddenly they're grown and moved out, and you're like, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
What do I do now? Is it time
Yeah.
for me to die now? Just
Yes,
Figure that out.
exactly. And I not only, it was like being a mom, it is so easy to make that your whole identity. Like it's really easy. And then like I was so determined to be like super mom with my kids. And then I had some what I felt like making up time to do. So I did a lot of overcompensating
Yeah,
to
you.
make up for things. Huh?
I said, yeah, you did. You still are every
I
day.
know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So, but um so then whenever it came time, like, Ethan's gonna be driving next month, like his driver's license, and I'm not gonna be taking off of work all the time to take him to, appointments and stuff like that, and like dentist appointments and checkups. I can schedule the two boys together and they can just go to the checkups and the dentist and everything. And in just a couple of years, they're going to be gone. And it really is. It's like, what am I going to do? Like, who
Play
am I?
pickleball.
You know, huh?
Play pickleball.
Yes, I'm going to play pickleball and I'm going to go to yoga and I'm going to do all the things that I want to do.
Do more
So,
podcast episodes to me.
yes,
I'm gonna open you up for all sorts of things. I'm super
I
excited.
know for real. I'm fixing to have so much me time.
I'm not gonna know what to do.
No, I really am not, but I'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
So I have started like to ease my mind instead of focusing on how empty my life will be when I have nobody else to take care of.
Oh man,
I
the
focus,
universe is gonna force you into not a caregiver role. It's
yeah, I
exactly
know.
what you
So I've started like
giving care to yourself.
vision. I've started, I definitely need to. I've started like doing vision boards of, like how I want Ethan's bedroom because when he moves out, I've already told Justin that that is the room that I'm getting for me because it's on the front of the house and the lightness that are coming in the window. So I was like, that is the room that I need for my plants. So you can have Edward's room when he moves out, but Ethan's room is going to be mine. So I've vision boarded how I want the room to look, and I've got a moss rug in there and a green couch, and I can't wait.
That's awesome. I can't wait for you. Did you see where TikTok's already back up?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I I'm I allow TikTok to consume my life. So to not be such a time suck for me, I actually do not have it on my phone.
Oh,
So I didn't know. Yeah.
yeah, I know
So
you.
if you ever send me anything in TikTok and I never responded, that's why. Because I don't have it on my phone anymore.
Yeah, well, it went dark last night because of
Mm-hmm.
the ban. Well, it's already back up and running.
Is it
Uh-huh. It was gone
okay?
for like 12 hours.
Oh, yeah. I had been hearing that they were going to have a ban on it, but I didn't actually believe that it was going to happen because I think that something came up before about a ban and then it never happened. So I was like, hey, they're just talking like they usually do. And then I got up this morning and people on Facebook were like, oh my God,
You'll
TikTok.
think, yeah.
Yeah.
I also
So,
believe it. I was like, and like, even though it went through and it got approved, and like all of the things was like, yes, it's happening. Like, I don't know if it was intuition or what. I was just like in denial. Like, and even
yeah.
after it went dark, I was like still in denial. I was like, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so, you guys. And sure enough, it's been like, I don't know, I think it was, I don't know exactly how many hours it was down, but it was only banned for like 14 hours.
Okay.
It was crazy. They had like
Yeah.
it was dark and there was a pop-up on it that was like, I'm so sorry, due to US regulations, this app is no longer allowed in the States. We're hoping that once President Trump takes office, that he'll work with us in getting it back up. And then like 14 hours later, it's back up and there's another pop-up on it and it's like I, basically it said President Trump came through. Yay. And I was like, he doesn't
Really?
take office until tomorrow. What's going on?
Yeah.
That's what he did with his time? I'm not mad, but what? This doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally forgot that that was tomorrow.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, because I was like, the kids are out of school Monday, and Blake was like, for inauguration day? And I was like,
right?
what? And he was like, the kids got out of school for inauguration day? And I was like, is that when? I guess it is the 20th, isn't it? Yeah. And I like looked it up and I was like, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, dude. It just happened to fall on the same day this year.
Yeah. That's funny. I know Ethan's birthday always falls near President's Day. So occasionally he gets to have his birthday off of school for a holiday when it falls on President's Day.
Nice.
And yeah, so he's like, my birthday is a national holiday.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it is around here.
Sage got Valentine's Day. You know, that's her birthday.
Oh yeah,
My
yeah.
birthdays sometimes falls on Mother's Day. Yeah, holiday.
Mine, hey, I get a holiday too because mine usually falls near Memorial Day because
Okay.
it's the 23rd of May.
Yeah,
So
I knew you were a Gemini, but that was the only thing that I could remember.
yeah, yeah, May 23rd. So I still don't think that very much Gemini stuff applies to me. So I don't know.
I don't know that I've ever looked at your chart. We need to do that one day.
Yeah,
We
that
should
would
do a
be
whole
fun.
like throwaway episode. I'll release it on like a Friday or something.
Yeah,
We're just analyzing Brandy's chart here.
yeah,
Let me
that
see how.
would be fun. I
Yeah,
think it
it'd be
would
a
be
lot of
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, we it might
So
turn into a whole. Me and you can't talk about nothing. So like I've never not been interested in everything that we said. So it'd probably turn into like a whole episode.
yeah, probably so. With about 12 different side subjects
Yeah, and
because I can't stay on topic.
well, that's good though. That's good. We cover more. We get more insight. I've decided I don't want to do episodes by myself anymore. I'm boring by myself.
Really.
I bore me.
I don't think. eh,
It's
well,
too
I
much.
don't think you're boring, but ha- having guests definitely does give like a dynamic that you don't nobody gets by themselves. I mean, not just you, but anybody.
I'm so monotone by myself. I can't relate my energy the way I can if I'm talking to somebody else. Like I'm not
Yeah.
motivated enough to like, oh my gosh, camera. Oh my gosh, microphone.
People who can do that have a certain talent that I will never know.
No, I can't do.
Like I can't. So I mean, kudos to them because
That's why I
I
can't
can't.
that's why I can't teach that's why I can't do yoga classes online anymore. You know, I tried really
Mm,
hard. I made a ton of them and they were just so it's draining for me to
yeah.
play towards the camera. Like, because I mean, like, I do intuitive yoga anyway. I read the room. And so I
Mm-hmm.
call out a pose and then I'll look around and see how people are handling it. I'll read the people in the room. And like,
Yeah.
if they're having a hard time, and like I can tell that that person is struggling with this pose because their knees are bothering them. So then
Mm-hmm.
specifically formulate the rest of the class to where there's no more knee things that uh, strain your knees in that particular way. And then like
Yeah.
I can tell that that person's bored, so let's ramp it up a little bit. And oh, I can tell that that person's um doesn't have the energy to work with today. So let's keep things more low key, you know. And I just, so I make it up as I go based on the
Yeah.
energy of the room. And it's so hard for me to do that when there's nobody in the room. I,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like doing things by myself anymore. Like, so I don't want to. It's draining. It's hard for me to like make the time. Like, I told you I was going to come home and record anyway. So I was like,
Yeah.
why don't we just do it today? Why don't we just like, hit
Yeah.
the running? The best things are impromptu. Um, but whether or not I would have been able to actually do that when I got home, who knows? Who knows?
Right.
I may
Yeah.
been able to focus my energy towards that because I knew I needed to do it for this Tuesday because I didn't have anything yet. Um,
Yeah.
or I may have sat down and been like, oh, because I have three computer screens sitting here staring at me with probably 50 tabs open of other things that I need to do that I'm in the middle of working on. So I may have been
Yeah.
like, I need to finish this first. So I don't know why, just because. No, I'm fighting with my website right now, and WooCommerce because I have almost $200 in limbo. Like I made in December almost $500 from this particular course that I released
Hmm.
and only received like what are the numbers? I don't know what I did with them. Um yeah, so I have $135 that is in limbo that didn't come through to my bank account like it's supposed to. Okay. The rest of it did.
Uh,
That much
right.
and no support person or AI chat that I have talked to yet can give me any sort of breadcrumb on which direction to go next on figuring it out. So that's what
Uh,
I've been fighting with the system for 2 days now. So most
yeah.
likely, if I would have convinced myself that that was more important, and I would have done that instead.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I
That's probably what
know.
I'm gonna stay up all night doing tonight is trying to, I don't know. I do have a backup plan though. I have this friend who his daughter and my daughter are really good friends and we've been spending more time together because of it. And he
Hmm.
works from home as a IT guy for like the army or something. And he told me when his wife signed up for one of my yoga programs and he was texting me, he was like, this website's shit. And I'm like, sorry. I don't know that he realized that it was my website and that I had done
Right.
something on it. I was like, oh no. Can you be more specific so I can fix it? So I'm just gonna be like, hey, can I give you this much money to like come fiddle around on this? And I need a real IT guy, and I don't trust anybody on the internet anymore because I don't know if you are familiar with my past problems with hiring IT guys, but
Yeah.
there was this one time I hired an IT guy to do something on my website, and he completely wiped everything from my website. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what did you do?" And his response was, "Well, now you can make new content."
I remember that.
What? Are you kidding me? Oh,
Yeah.
it was like I think it was like 7 years worth of stuff at that point. Just
Hmm.
fine. And his now I can make news. What? You don't
Yeah.
understand how Google works at all, do you? And then he got mad at me because I didn't like any of this and directed my website to Pornhub and then changed the password on me.
I remember. I remember when all of that happened.
So my website was going to Pornhub. Every time anybody clicked on anything, it was going to Pornhub. I was devastated. Oh my gosh, I thought my life was over. I was like, my whole life's work up until this point. What am I going to do with my life now? I'm such a failure. I
Yeah.
might as well just go to Applebee's. So now I have really bad trust issues with anybody I hire online, and I'm just a DIYer for the rest of my life. But I might talk to this dude over here if I can't figure it out.
Yeah. Maybe he can help you out. At least point you in the right direction of some things to do or try.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my backup plan.
Yeah.
But this has been fun. I'm gonna wrap it up because dinner's almost.
Okay.
Blake will be here.
Yeah. I got to go figure out. I think we're having spaghetti.
Yeah. I bet your
So
spaghetti's better than my spaghetti.
I don't know because I can't taste it anymore.
Oh no. Oh, because you can't eat it. I
Yeah,
see you're such a amazing person the way that you probably cook dinner every night knowing you can't eat it, don't you?
I do. I
Yeah.
do. It's tough sometimes, but the boys have definitely let me know now that I can't taste and tweak things. They definitely are like, "Hey, we know that you can't taste this, so you don't know what it tastes like, but don't put so much salt next time." I'm like, "Well, I'll just stop salting it altogether, and you can salt your own food.
Yeah.
And you add as much or little as you like."
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk
So,
about next. We're going to do another episode about food because we can really get down on that.
yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I'll let you wrap it up and go get your dinner, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.